What's going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to another comic book video. I'm your boy Fresh, and I'm here to give you guys another comic book story that you may or may not like. It's up to you to decide. With that being said, we are going to continue our coverage over the X-Men, and we pick up with X-Men Annual 95. Now, this book is really important. Here's the reason why, because it allows us to see a different kind of person when it comes to the character better known as Mr. Sinister. You think you know him, but once you begin to dive into his past, you are then able to see a different type of person when it comes to that character. We also see him going up against another character known as Tyler Dayspring, or better known as Genesis, the son of Cable. Now, you do have two X-Men in the book, Jean Grey and Beast, but technically they're playing a minor role in the storyline. The main purpose of this book is to allow us to dive into the past of Mr. Sinister, to see a different side to that character. And really, by the first page, you can tell that this is going to be some kind of love story. And the reason why I'm saying that, because in the first page, we see an elderly woman whose last name is Livingstone. And apparently she's being taken care of by nurses at this hospital. Now, we don't know everything about her just yet, but then out of nowhere, something or someone grabs her. Now we do transition over to Beast, and really it's Beast right now just hanging out in a nearby cabin that he had purchased along with Bobby Drake. And it's really more of Beast trying to get away to be able to relax, but usually he brings Iceman with him and they would have double dates. Now when it comes to Bobby, he is currently with Rogue on some kind of long road trip across America. So unfortunately for Hank, he can't bring Bobby with him, but instead he brought Jean Grey. Now, it's not like Jean Grey and Beast have some kind of hidden love for one another. We have to remember that when it came to first class of X-Men, it was Iceman, Cyclops, Jean Grey, Angel, and also Beast. And so with those first five X-Men, they have a closer bond than almost anybody else in the X-Men. They were the first class. And so for Jean Grey and Beast, it's more of like brother and sister just hanging out, having a good time at the cabin. And for Hank, he needed this because let's also not forget that his girlfriend Trish Tilby had just told the entire world about the legacy virus. And with her doing that, you now have a big war coming very soon between mutants and humans. Things have gone south between the two parties. Now, for Sinister, he finally does enter the book. And when he does, we kind of find out that every year he goes to this hospital to see Miss Livingstone. And so once again, it's another year and it's time for him to go see her. The problem is that when they walk into the room, him and the nurse, they don't see her. When they turn around, they see her, but she's now being held hostage by another character known as Tyler Dayspring, better known as Genesis, the son of Cable. Now, by this point in Marvel's timeline, when it comes to Tyler, he's trying to replace Apocalypse. The X-Men have no idea that technically Apocalypse is around again. They still believe that he is gone. But for right now, for Tyler, he is trying his best to be the new Apocalypse. And matter of fact, we see Tyler bring in the Dark Riders. Now, the Dark Riders are one of the many groups that Apocalypse used in the past when it came to different things he was trying to do across the world. And so for the Dark Riders, they're also kind of like Apocalypse. They believe in survival of the fittest. The strong may live, the weak may die, the strong may lead, the weak must follow. And so when it comes to the Dark Riders, they look at Tyler as a strong person that they must follow. And so you have Tyler say, listen, I have her and I'm going to use her as a way to break you, to finally get rid of you, because you were working for Apocalypse and you betrayed him and he should have killed you then, but he did not. But don't worry, I'll do what he cannot do. And so you didn't have the Dark Riders and also Tyler disappear with Livingstone. But now we get a flashback. And with this flashback, we kind of see Mr. Sinister in the 1930s, getting the idea that the dude has been around for a very long time. But also, in this small town that he was in, alongside Livingstone, he was well known across the entire town. People knew him for so many different reasons, but they didn't know the actual reason why he was in that town for. And of course, to play with genetics. But we see him right now throwing some kind of event together where you have all these different rich people being able to come together, drink, dance, party, all of that. Now, at first, he did invite somebody else to hopefully spend some time with, but she brought someone with her, and that would be Livingstone. She was brought into that party as a guest with someone else, and allows Sinister to meet her, to dance with her, and get the chance to possibly fall in love with her, or at least make her fall in love with him. We also learned that her name is Faye. Her first name is Faye. Anyways, you have the two characters being able to live together, build a bond with one another, until one night she woke up and she heard things being moved around in the middle of the night, but she realized that Sinister, Essex, is not next to her. And so she got up to look around and she found this secret passageway. Now her mind is telling her, you gotta dip out, get the heck out of there now. But instead, she continued to go deeper and deeper, where she found his lab, but also she saw his real face, the white-skinned face, and she begins to freak out because she has no idea what she had just stepped into. But now we transition back into the present day. And now there is a good reason why Jean Grey is in the story. Like I said, though, her and Beast, for me personally, are kind of being put on the back burner. They are important, but not as important as Sinister. Either way, as we go into the present day, it's Beast and Jean Grey still at the cabin. Jean Grey is going to bed. Beast want to stay up and read his book. But then he realized they have some company, and that would be the Dark Riders. When it came to Tyler, he sent the Dark Riders to go after Jean Grey, to bring her over to him. Now, you do have Beast trying his best to protect Jean Grey. And really, you have Jean Grey get involved in the battle. She is a very powerful character, but the problem is our heroes are easily outnumbered by the Dark Riders. So they grab Jean Grey and teleport away. But when it comes to Jean Grey, she left behind a breadcrumb for Beast to follow, a psychic breadcrumb. And so as long as he follows it, he should be able to find her. And for Jean Grey, you have the Dark Riders take her over to Sinister and also Tyler. Now, they're not working together, no, because the Tyler, he wants to break down Sinister from the inside out, piece by piece. And he thinks that Livingstone is the key to begin the process of him breaking down Sinister piece by piece. Now, you have Jean Grey being able to break free. And for Jean Grey, she wants to leave. But she also wants to save the elderly lady's life, Livingstone, or Faye for you guys. But either way, you have Sinister say, no, do not do anything at all, because I realize her mind is right now shocked. She's right now thinking of the past. She's stuck in the past. And this kind of leads us into another flashback to kind of get a better idea of what happened to Faye right after she discovered that Sinister was not the man she believed to be. So with this second flashback, we do discover that right after she had, discovered that Sinister was a different man she had no idea about, she kind of became a prisoner. And here's the reason why. Because of her genetics, because she carried the X gene. But kind of like Cyclops and Jean Grey, their offspring be a really powerful mutant. And so for her, if she has a child, that child would be a very powerful mutant. And so for Sinister, he was kind of just using her, playing around with her genetics. She was locked away for who knows how long. It got to the point where he was able to break her mentally and physically. But then one night, he just let her go and she ran away. And so after she left, You had Sinister stay behind in his castle or his home, whatever. But the thing is, he kind of seems heartbroken because it did seem like he did love her, but unfortunately, he had to use her for his studies. Back in the present day, we see that Beast was able to follow the trail that Jean Grey had left behind. The problem is that as soon as he arrives, he's then confronted by these little minions of possibly Sinister or Tyler. Who knows? Either way, these small little minions are trying to keep Beast away from the other three characters at the moment. Now, before you have Beast being able to get inside, you have Tyler explain why he captured Jean Grey. He wants Jean Grey to use her powers to create a mind link between two people, Faye and also Mr. Sinister. Now, for Jean Grey, it's a no. Matter of fact, she believes she can grab Faye and get the heck out of there. But you have Sinister say no. The thing about Faye is that she's dying. She has cancer. She only has weeks to live. And so please, before she die, go ahead and do this mind leak. Now, Beast arrives, and for Beast, he kind of realized what's going on with Sinister. Now, for Sinister, he's trying to play this character like, hey, you know what? I don't truly care that much for her, but yes, I will play your game, Tyler. I will do a mind link. But for Beast, he realized no. For Sinister, he does care a lot for Faye. And so he tells Jean Grey, no, Jean, you need to do the link. Go ahead and do it. And so you have Jean Grey connect the minds of the two characters. And for me, this mind link is perfect because it allows her to say the one thing she wants to say to Sinister. You failed because you believe that with my ex Jean, I would give this perfect child into the world and you'll then be able to take that child for your own experiments. But once I realized what you wanted from me, I made sure I never got married. I made sure I never had a child to make sure that you would fail. And so as I die in these final moments, I can tell you that. I can tell you that I was able to stop you. And so then she dies in the arm of Mr. Sinister. You're kind of like, dang. Because the thing is, he did care for her, but at the same time, he still needed her genetics. But at the same time, he now failed in both areas, in love, but also in science. And really, the book kind of ends on the note where you do have everybody go their separate ways. And when they do, you have Beast explain to Jean Grey what Tyler was trying to achieve. The whole idea that love is a weakness. And the thing for Beast is love is not a weakness. And for Sinister, he kind of showed like, yeah, it's not a weakness at all for him. Now, for Tyler, he still believes that he was able to kind of break a small piece of Sinister from the inside out, but he will continue to try to break away at Mr. Sinister. But at the same time, he has to now move on to his next project. And his next project is going to be Wolverine. And this is where we're going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, see y'all next time. Later.